Hey guys, welcome back. Jeff, Wayward City Games. Jesse, you're here in the studio with me?
You promised it. You delivered.
I did.
You have the cheapest alt art ever on the board there from the vintage sets. I can't wait to see what you did.
All right, guys. So our very first deck profile video of EX-03 is here. It is Aegisdramon. Very excited to play this.
Yes.
I've been playtesting this all weekend long. It's crazy how much I actually really like this deck, and I do think it is a strong deck. I'm very excited to get in this and show you guys what it's all about. All right, guys, so let's start on the low end, as I always like to do. So there is really only one egg to play in this deck, guys.
I love this egg.
Bukamon.
Yes, sir.
Well, this egg is so good in this deck. It allows you, for example, Aegisdramon is a 4-cost Evo. To Digivolve for 3 because you gain the memory back, assuming they don't have a memory denier, right?
Yep.
So this is a very, very important egg. You know, it really, really helps when you got your second or even your third stack pushed out of the raising area. All of a sudden, you're gaining memory, Digivolving for free on certain things. So, big fan of the Bukamon.
Yeah.
Let's dive into the threes. I had a lot of fun with all these threes. This deck has by far been one of the funnest decks for me to make in a while. So it's been very refreshing.
Well, I watch you change these threes quite a bit.
I did. I really did tinker with them a lot. So I'm playing 4 of this Gomamon.
So good.
This Gomamon is a mandatory 4 of, in my opinion. It's an on play when it comes from sources to draw 2 cards. So many times has this come out all the time. It keeps getting recycled. I mean, it's very effective for the deck. What I really like about this is like I kind of have like 2 different strategies with the level 3s, right? So I have like my early game with the Gomamon, and then I kind of have more once I'm set up, once I have all the cards that I need from drawing with the Gomamon, I have the Crabmon.
Yeah.
The Crabmon is great. It gives it jamming. So for example, our level 5 is the Aegisdramon from EX-03. And the Aegisdramon here, right, when he attacks, he can play a level 3. So this is a great level 5 for the deck, but sometimes 7k is just not enough.
Yeah.
It's crazy how big of a difference 7 to 8k is, because I felt like with Lady Dev, I would always swing with 8k, but 7k hurts. So what's great is when this attacks, it can play level 3, so you can play Crab, give it jamming, and then you can kind of reload a body to be spat back out later, right?
Yeah.
So very much like the Crabmon, I think these are great 4-ofs. I do play one more 4-of in this deck, and this is also a good body for a level 3 to be played out through sources. 4 of the starter deck 8 Dracomon.
Ooh, the ST8s. Okay.
It is not a fish. It is not a sea animal. It is not anything to do with water.
The Dramon guy.
But he is an on-play. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Dramon. I'll give you a hint, guys. I'm playing tons of Dramons in this deck.
Lots of Dramons.
Tons of Dramons. So I really, really like this card. And I want to give an honorable mention because I do play 2 more level 3s. And I was testing this, and I actually did not dislike it as much as I thought I would. I was trying 2 of the new EX-03 Dracomon.
Yeah.
I do very much like the on play reveal the top 4 cards versus the top 3 to grab Dramons. There's just times where you're like, man, if I could just grab my Metal Sea Dramon, if I could just grab my Aegisdramon and be able to do this, I'd be set in stone, right?
Yeah.
The only reason I kind of decided not to do these is the 1 Evo. I don't get to get around that like Aegisdramon, or excuse me, like Examon does.
And the only other benefit to playing those is the fact that like you can kind of search those out with the Davis, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I do play Davis in the deck, best Tamer in blue, right?
Yeah.
And you could play that and grab a green, and I was kind of even thinking of doing like a 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't hurt, right? Like it's bad how good it felt. Like I feel like this deck feels pretty good, but I'm gonna make the smarter decision here. Instead, I'm gonna play the on play, draw 1 Gabumon.
Yeah, that's smart.
I think it's the smarter move.
From sources so much, yeah.
Yeah, being able to play these level 3 from sources when you build your stack, whether it's not you just throw it on the field, you digivolve into a cheap level 4, and then you Metal Sea Dramon spawns that out, right? So these are the 3s that I'm playing. Really, your level 3s are to draw a bunch of cards and search a bunch of pieces that you may or may not need, and be able to give it jamming and kind of like reload another body, right? So those are my 3s for the deck.
Yeah.
Very happy with those. It's crazy how much I thought I was going to like, or I like this Dracomon, right? I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. Absolutely love it.
It makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense for this deck. And I will show you why when we dive into these 4s, actually, too.
I love the 4s because they're so cheap.
Yeah, so the 4s, this is the first time playing a blue deck or building a blue deck that I struggled to pick level 4s. Usually I feel like it's really easy.
Yeah, because usually you go like tribal.
Yeah, usually you're either doing a tribal or you're doing a turbo or you're doing blockers, right? So I'm actually going back to old BT4.
Talk about turbo. For
a Tobiomon. So he's almost a level 3 because he is a 3 cost. So I really don't mind playing this as a 4 of. I've tried this at a 3 of, and I felt every game that I played with this.
Give me one more.
I was like, I just need him so I can Digivolve for 1. So that way I can like have a level 3 to then split out using another effect that we have later in the deck. Or I wish like I could just Digivolve for 1, Digivolve another one for 1, Chimera for 0, right? Yeah. I absolutely love this as a 4 of. What's great is he's a sea animal, so for those of you who are unaware, Plesiommon and Aegisdramon both have erratas. Please check out the EX-03 erratas, and you can play the Tobiomon. Yep. That way you can kind of start extending plays, do whatever you need to do. This is the next level 4 that I tried as a 4 of, and I very much agree that you could justify a 4 of, the Aegisdramon.
Yeah.
He is a Dramon. So he's searchable with our Dracomon, yeah. right? And I've had a lot of times where it does get picked up through that search of the Dracomon. What's great is he's on play. You give a Digimon blocker, and then you unsuspend the Digimon if you play from sources. Yeah. So it's very, very unique. It's really a fun way. And what's great is you can just, you know what, if you just need a blocker for the turn, just throw it down for 5 and you give him blocker for the turn, right? So I ultimately decided to go with 3 of this versus 4 of this, right? So that way I could have more of this because this is the one I felt like I was always wanting versus this. But if you go to 4, I completely understand. But let's talk about the rest of my 4s. So I'm playing these for my 4s next.
I love the Cordramon.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the Cordramon. Yeah. Originally I was trying, to find some more aquatics. The BT2 Seadramon, especially since we got that beautiful alt art from the Memorial Pack. Yeah. Right? I really wanted to play that. But the 1 cost here makes way more sense than the 2 costs of the Seadramon, And this Cordramon really helps extend this, right? This deck needs to have certain pieces at certain times, so you want to draw as many cards as you can. And you want to be able to set up, I do play Chimera in this deck. So being able to set up Chimera when this Cordramon comes out of security is really, really important. Yeah. So I am playing this as a full 4 of. I've had tons of times where I just have an overwhelming board state, right? I have 5 bodies on board. Your opponent hits security to try to do something, and a Cordramon comes out, right? Or I just need 1 more body so I can start going into my next pieces. The Cordramon really comes in nice, very much like the Cordramon. And then
Lobo for game.
Lobo for game. I mean... So it's one of those things. If you definitely feel like you need 2 Lobos, definitely you could trade that if you want. You could go to a 4th Aegisdramon. I'm really happy with this. I'm not going to change it. I like this.
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Why the Lobo over the Kuma?
Because he's way cooler.
Because he's 1K more.
Because I don't really care about stripping sources in this deck, right? And he's he's
what if the 1 inheritable gives it blocker?
I guess you're right. So I guess if you were really big brain, you would play Kumamon. I'm not going to do that. I like Lobo. He's way cooler.
I think the alt arts are just cheaper.
You know what? As soon as they give me a hybrid that has a drum on a name, I can search it. Sure, I'll play that.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so let's talk about some 5s because 5s are really exciting in this deck. I'm playing 4 of this new Mega Seadramon.
Is that exciting?
Like, is a mandatory 4 of. So this, first of all, when he attacks, he plays a level 3 from not just his stack, anybody's stack on the board.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So what I'll do, right, is I'll end up having like, a Scomamon on board, and I'll have a Mega Seadramon that I'm attacking with or whatever, right? And I'll be at 2 memory, 1 memory, 3 memory if I have my Tamer, whatever. I'll just Digivolve for 1 into Tobiomon, right? I'll just have that, just Digivolve for 1 real quick, no big deal. I'll swing with Mega Seadramon, especially if I have like Crab to pop out, or even better, let's just show that off because it's just so much fun, right? If you have that Crab instead of the Goma, right? You can spawn out said Crabmon, give him jamming. That way he lives this check, and you have another body now on board. And it only cost me 1. And huge reason why I'm playing 4 of that, right? So I very much like the Mega Seadramon. And what's great is when you do that, with the Bukamon, if you only have one on the field, you get your memory back that you paid or
free.
digivolve.
It's
It's
free,
free, right? Free to have a whole extra body on board. This one will still be able to swing, assuming you had this from the previous turn, right? When you digivolved, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So very, very fun. You can even, if you have more than one of the Bukamon on the
Gain
field,
memory.
you gain memory, right? Tons of great versatility there. So I love the Aegisdramon.
That plays any level 3, so you could play
plays
a jamming
any
demon out if you wanted to.
level 3. It does not specify aquatic, sea animal, ancient fish, whatever the erratas say, right?
Or play the Gabu out.
Play the Gabumon, draw out cards. It plays Dracomon out to search.
Yeah.
Tons of on plays as our blue level 3s, which is why I play the blue level 3s that I did. Very much like the Aegisdramon, and the Aegisdramon has that same effect as an inheritable.
That's so good.
Yes, so there'll be a lot of times where I spawn out another Aegisdramon to just keep going wide, or I'm using this with a Plesiomon on top, or even the Metal Seedramon if I have to. Great card, has to be a 4 of. Very excited to test the purple-blue Waru Seedramon. We'll see what that does in the next set. But for now, let's get on to another level 5. I play a 3 of Wamon.
Oh, you're going back to the whales.
I am. So this is, for those of you that tried and played whales, this is the upgraded version, the much better version.
I agree.
It is a blast to play. I love this deck. And I think the 5s, honestly, are my favorite spot in this deck. I'm very happy with the 6s especially too, but I had a blast. The 5s to me are that perfect ratio. I have 2 more 5s. I'll just show them. Chimeras. Right? So this is my favorite split for 5s when I deck build. I love a 4-3-2 split. Whatever, like for example, in purple, right? When I do like a Black War Gray and the Wargaroo, and then I have 2 costs or 3 2 costs or whatever. So this is just my favorite way to play 5s. It's just 9 with a 4-3-2 split. Chimera is just such a good card. Extends plays, allows you to go from 2 5s, whether you played a Tobiomon or whether or not you had a Quadramon pop out of security and you're now into your 5 for free.
And you tuck a body.
You kill a couple things because of the board wipe, and then you tuck a body. You could even tuck a Aegisdramon, and then you're into your 6 for cheap, right? So I really, really like the Chimera, and this is like one of the first decks where I was thinking maybe I should go to 3, but the Walmon's too important.
It's so good.
Walmon can be played. It is a sea animal, so it can be played by Aegisdramon. Very, very important to the deck as well. And also, if you have enough of these little Bukas on board, right, you could just hard play this, play out a body, and gain some memory back. So not a bad play either way. Yeah. Kind of more like a little Kaiser Nail that you kind of have like an option card if you really just want to play it. So very happy with the 5s in this deck. Definitely excited to start testing out some more stuff, in future sets. But this is where I'd be for now.
Let's see those 6s.
So let's talk about 6s.
I know one of them's old.
I'm gonna do a past and present comparison, right? So we're talking 4 of the Plesiomons.
New ones.
Has to be a 4 of. I tried a 3 and 3. I kept finding myself wishing that I could just have a Plesio in hand, and I really wish I could search specifically. Like if there was a card that searched specifically for Plesiomon, I'd probably take out the Dracomons or whatever. But very much like my level 6 split here.
Yep.
Plesiomon is amazing for the deck, is really part of the core of it. It has a when digivolving effect. You may play a level 3 or level 4 with the errata of aquatic or sea animal, right? So you can spawn on a body with Buka. You then gain a memory back, so it becomes a 2-cost Evo, so you can extend your plays, do whatever you need to do. And then you can also tuck a Digimon underneath. Now, this is important because if you want, let's say you have your Plesiomon stack, you can tuck a Metal Seedramon underneath when it digivolves to then go into the boss of the deck, Aegisdramon, and spawn out the Metal Seedramon and almost loop in a way.
Yeah.
It's insanely fun. Absolutely love it in the deck. Plesiomon has to be a 4 of. With that being said, let's move on to the next guy as a 3 of.
Best alt art in the game.
Yeah. So normally I'm a big fan of 6 level 6s in a deck. I tried it. This has got to be a 7 level 6s. It actually, with how much card draw and search is in the deck, does not brick in my opinion, it feels pretty solid. It feels consistent because you're kind of like loading this Metal Seedramon underneath anyways.
Yeah.
Or you're digivolving to this if you don't have the Plesio. So then you go Aegisdramon on top to trigger, right? But the Metal Seedramon, great card. On play, return 2 opponents level 4 lowers to hand. It basically did nothing when this card came out. Very, it does have
11.
It does have another effect where it can't be blocked by no Digivolution cards, but that basically doesn't happen a whole lot, right?
Right.
But what's great is this Plesiomon also has an inheritable. Whenever you play a Digimon card from a Digivolution card, return one of your opponent's Digimon of the same level to the bottom of the owner's deck. So when you tuck this Metal Seedramon to the Plesio, then you digivolve into Aegisdramon. You spawn out the Metal Seedramon. You return 2 level 4s to their hand, and then the level 6 to the bottom of the deck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, right?
Good
like it's
stuff,
tons of great removal and bounce back. And thankfully, Plesiomon does not return it to hand; it returns to the bottom of the deck. So I'm very, very excited about this ratio. I love this. I saw a really interesting list playing like a 1 of Slayerdramon, there's stuff like that. I get it. To me, play it this way. Have a blast.
Yeah.
You'll love it. Let me know what you think. Let's get to the boss of the deck.
Is this a 4 of?
Big, bad Aegisdramon. Okay.
You are committed.
I am committed. So here's the deal with this card. Especially when building any other deck, for level 7s, feel like it's almost blasphemy to do a 4 of.
100%.
I mean, maybe back in the BT1 days when you played Turbo Omni, you'd play 4, right? Or maybe 3. But I think 3 probably felt better. But really, this Aegisdramon is so good in this deck, especially because you loop with your Plesiomon Metal Seedramon stuff, where you spawn out the Metal Seedramon. You really want this. You want another one in hand.
You get 3 level 6s,
to do that and keep going and just keep going and keep spawning out bodies, right? So it's very, in my opinion, important to play 4 of this. That is a huge reason why I'm playing so much like search and draw. So that way I can search that Aegisdramon. And another reason why I very much like the EX-03 Dracomon, and I was trying it because I kept wanting more Aegisdramons in hand, which is crazy for a 4 of level 7 in the deck. Yep. This deck just really rewards me, who's like a consistent deck builder where I love 4 ofs, or I love like my happy number ratios where I don't brick. And this deck really fits that just perfectly, right?
Well, and you've been talking about this deck forever.
Yes, so Aegisdramon, when digivolving, you may play a level 3 blue from any sources, right? So just like the rest of our deck, playing any blue level 3, doesn't have to be aquatic, whatever. And then it says you can play Digimon with Seedramon, Aqua, or Sea Animal as well. So there are tons of targets for this deck to hit.
So you go Gabu, draw.
Aegisdramon can hit Tobiomon. Aegis can hit Ebidramon. Cannot hit any of our other level 4s. It can hit any blue level 3. It can actually even play out
the Wamon,
the Metal Seedramon. I guess I don't have. Oh, here are my 5s. I'm sitting here looking like an idiot. All right, Mega Seedramon and Wamon. So those are 5 distinct targets, not including any blue level 3.
Every level 3.
Yeah. Every level 3 that this body can play out, right? And when you play this out, Bukamon will trigger, gaining you a memory. So it's only 3 cost Evo.
That's only if you have 1. If you have 2,
if you haven't used this already. Yeah,
cheaper.
exactly. Okay. So Aegisdramon, super strong deck, very, very effective. It can play all of these bodies, and you have this like toolbox, right? So for this Plesiomon, does specifically say of the same level. It does not say or below for the inheritable. So, if you have the Plesiomon underneath this, and your opponent has a pesky level 5, play out a Wamon.
Yeah.
Play out a Mega Seedramon.
You get to pick.
You get to pick, right? Whatever is in your bodies, in your sources at the time, whatever the best play is, to then bounce it back to hand or bottom of the owner's deck.
Yeah.
And even if you do the Mega Seedramon, then you can start swinging with this the next turn, playing level 3s, and just keep going wide.
Going big.
Very consistently do I have 6, 7, 8 card wide boards with this deck. So very, very much like this. But I think arguably the best part about it is being able to play a Seedramon. So the Metal Seedramon is a great target for this to be able to play. It can, like I said, you return those bodies, you get all of the value, and you have another level 6 on board to go into your second Aegis.
Sense.
Let's talk about an opponent's turn ability on this card. Opponent's turn, once per turn, when they play Digimon, activate its when Digivolving effect. So then you can trigger the all turns of the Plesiomon. You can start playing Aegisdramon to unsuspend him, make him a blocker, play out another body on your opponent's turn so it can swing on the next. Very versatile card. I love it as a 4-of. I do want to give an honorable mention to Gabumon, the Gabumon Bond of Friendship.
You tried that, right?
I tried it. I love the idea of being able to, especially the Walmon, being able to put a Gabumon in or something and then Kaiser nail it out. Never worked for me. I tried it as a 3-2 split. It's just better going as Aegisdramon.
Consistent.
If you try it, let me know in the comments. Love to hear it.
All right, what do we got left?
All right, so we have 4 cards left in the deck for those counting at home. I play 3 Tamers.
3
of this beautiful new Davis that we just got. Davis, best Tamer in blue.
Not too much to explain on that one. Everyone knows that's a great card, yeah.
Yes. Another reason you could argue the EX-03 Dracomon, but I think I'm just trying to convince myself to play a 1-cost Evo.
You gotta search.
It grabs a blue card, and it does not specify Drummon. You can grab any piece that you may need. It's a memory setter, puts you at 3, and 3 is the happy number for this deck, because if you only have 1 Bukamon out on the field, you can do a lot of your Digivolves to gain a memory back to extend your plays. And that does even complement a 1 of Kaiser Nail.
I love it.
So for those of you who've counted home, my ratios are a 14, 12, 9, 7, 4 split. There's a lot of room if you just don't like high Digimon decks to add in more text, whether it's removal, whether it's more, I wouldn't necessarily say you need more Kaiser Nails, but if you want to play an Ice Wall, if you want to play Kakaida's Breath, Tidal Wave, whatever it may be, I really think that this is a Digimon-focused deck.
Yep.
That does get its removal through the use of Digimon and being able to bounce things, and you just go so wide and have so much pressure where sometimes you just might not be able to control your opponent's board. It is what it is.
Yep.
Last cards of the deck, 1 of Kaiser Nail. What's great about Kaiser Nail is when the Plesiomon effect, right, it says all turns. So if you play a body out with Kaiser Nail when it gets hit in security, it does bounce another body back to board. So I like the Kaiser Nail. It does feel a little clunky when you run more than 1. As much as I love Kaiser Nail, I wish I could play it as a 5-of, and it was always at the perfect time. It just doesn't work that way. So, all right, guys, this is the list all laid out. Aegisdramon.
There it is.
Very excited for you to try this. I think you're going to love the Chimera as much as I do if you're playing this and you realize how good it is. And we also get to play the best alt-art in the game, the Gomamon.
The Goma.
Such a great deck. Very excited for you guys to play this. And you know what's great about EX-03 is we got tons more deck profiles coming your way.
Yep.
Whatever you may want to see, let us know in the comments below, and we will be sure to get it ready for you. Thank you so much for coming out.
All right. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye.